Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. You are listening to the Burn Out Brighter podcast, a video game podcast focused on mental health and social justice. My name is Darren. I will be your host for tonight, and I am joined by my lovely co-host, Destiny.
Hey, hey, hey.
And yes, you heard that right. Darren is going to be your host for today. Matt is not here. The old lady finally got privileged knowledge that Matt was the one broadcasting her activities all of these years, or 1 year, or days, or months, whatever. She found out, and now she's kicking his butt. So he's on the brunt of it for now.
I mean, like, it makes sense. I left Korea. He's still there. So now he's taking up the battle.
It's true. I mean, it's hard for her to do all that traveling.
That's true. Good fight. Her knees are, like, crazy. Like, I've really messed her up. Like, so.
Good. She's been on you so often.
I know.
Deserves some comeuppance. This is episode 85. Wow. Today's topic, we're going to be talking all about toxic Twitch chat and toxic Twitch activities and all the terrible, terrible things Twitch can do to people. Great, super fun. And then we're going to follow it off with a little bit of news. But first, as is tradition, we are going to start today with a round of random questions. And guess what, Destiny?
No. Did you plan this, or are you coming
planned it
up with it? Oh, good boy. Okay, ready.
Yeah, this is my show now. I'm the captain. I am going to plan the way I want to plan. I can decide things now. So Destiny, I wanted to, since it's just the two of us, I want to get to know you better. I wanted to know, what is your ideal day? Like, if you could just plan your perfect day. I want to be more like a regular day, like your perfect average day. What would that be like?
Okay. Obviously I would sleep in.
Of course.
So maybe get up around 10 or 11
or 12.
Have brunch
or 2 in the afternoon
or breakfast. Yeah, or 2 in the afternoon. Have brunch with bottomless mimosas.
Ooh.
And then I think I would just get on YouTube for a couple of hours and watch some gamers and some streamers. I'm very just low key. After that, maybe have a burger for lunch from Five Guys, because they're the best.
They are. They really are.
They are so good. They're so good. And then after that, probably hang out with Jackie a little bit, and then wind down the day playing some games with a couple of my friends online. So yeah, and I've been doing that recently. I played this game called Biped, but I'll talk about it later. I was terrible at it.
That sounds like that's a freaking amazing day.
Yeah, alcohol in the morning, sleeping in. Yeah.
You gotta start your day off right. What are you eating for brunch though? What's in your brunch?
Okay, so remember we had this conversation, you're a waffle person, I'm a pancake person.
Oh, I forgot about that. I forgot about this blasphemy.
Pancakes are so good though. So probably some pancakes, from IHOP, because it's basically dessert.
Are you
and I don't eat
pancake
pork.
purist, or do you put stuff in your pancakes, like blueberries or chocolate chips?
No, I'll put stuff in my pancakes.
Okay. We're on the same
make
wavelength
all kinds
there.
Of concoctions. Yeah. No, I won't just eat them plain. If I had to, my favorite ingredient to put in pancakes is blueberries. I really like blueberry pancakes.
Yes.
It's really good.
But see, this is why I also like waffles. I'm not trying to turn this into an argument again, but this is why I like waffles, because if you have blueberries with your waffles, it's each individual square is the perfect little nesting egg for a blueberry to hold. You don't have the blueberries rolling
I
all
mean,
over the
like,
place.
I get that. But when they're in the pancakes, then you don't have to worry about them rolling anyway, right? And then, like, the pancake, it's like this nice kind of like sweet blueberry flavor mixed with the maple syrup and butter. It's so good.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, okay. All right. That's fair. Now you have a question for me,
that was
right?
a really good question. Yeah, no, okay, so I didn't think about one, but I really think the question you asked me was a good one.
Thank
so
you.
I kind of want to like, I'm throwing it back at you. Like, what is a typical Darren day?
Okay. Well, I think you and I probably want to start the day the same, which is sleeping in. Like, I have been staying up very late recently playing Final Fantasy, grinding away to the wee hours. So I'm definitely waking up at like 10:30 at the earliest, probably. I'm not going to be as extravagant as brunch because I like breakfast. I'm not like a huge breakfast person. So probably just grab like some bacon and eggs. You start it off like nice like
That's
that.
good.
Middle of the day, I would play probably Final Fantasy at this point. I'm trying to think of a more interesting thing to do right now other than just play Final Fantasy.
I mean, but this is your day, so it doesn't have to be interesting. It just be what you like.
That's true. It would be playing some games. Actually, I think ideally my brothers would be over. I'll have my brothers over, and we'd be playing games together, play some Smash Bros, maybe some Guitar Hero, and jam out for the middle of the day. Then like later would probably watch a movie. Because movies are always fun. You got to break it up. You can't play games 24/7. Because then after the movie, I would go back to playing games.
Naturally.
And I would end it off by visiting like a fast food place around me. Probably my go-to would be shoot. I haven't had fast food in so long. I'm like forgetting what's even around me anymore.
Same.
I think I'd go. There's a Chinese food place really close to me that I like, and it's just like a crappy standard like Americanized Chinese food. But I love Chinese
that
food.
kind of Chinese food. Yeah,
it tastes so good. Get some fried rice, some Cantonese chow mein. Get some General Tso's chicken, an egg roll maybe. Oh, perfect.
Oh man, I want some egg rolls. Yeah, that sounds so good.
I just ate dinner and I'm already hungry again after this conversation.
I haven't even eaten dinner, but now I want Chinese food like afterwards.
Well, this is nice. This is two really good questions.
Like just getting to know each other. Like it's nice. But Matt is gonna hear this and be like, "Oh my god."
I was gonna say, I was like, Matt's probably having a field day listening to this.
Yes.
Being like, the ship is sailing at top speeds.
It's left dock.
But I think it's appropriate that when Matt's here, that's when we can truly get to know each other away from his judging eyes.
I think so too. So this is nice.
So Dee, what have you been up to?
Well, I'm glad you asked. I've been trying some new games. I mentioned it briefly. I tried this game called Biped, and I'm absolutely horrible at it, but it's like you're this little robot, and like whoever you're playing with is another robot, and you play together to solve like these platformer levels. And basically you're going like this the whole time with your mouse to make the biped walk. And it's
like one click is like left leg, right click's right leg.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so like he's so good at these games, my friend Paul. He's really good, and thank God he's patient, because it would take us forever. He'd be like, Des, just put your foot on the thing. And I'm like, I can't. I don't know what's happening. It was so bad. But we finally beat the game. It took us way longer because at the end it basically says like how well you work together.
Right.
So if you figure out a puzzle like within a certain time, it'll be like, oh, you had like 96 percentage harmony, right?
Right.
So the lowest we got was like 1%.
Oh my God.
That's the first time we played.
It's like,
Because I
you
just
should
didn't know
never
what to
even be in the
do.
same room as each other anymore. Just like end your
Right?
friendship immediately. You'll
But he
never
was like
work.
really like patient. So we got
Yeah.
100% sometimes, and like
Nice.
I think only one other time we got like under 50%, but whatever. That's a great game if you want to play like with a boyfriend or, you know, just a significant other or a girlfriend, whatever your choice is,
Is that
sibling.
just on
It's really
Steam?
fun. Um, I don't know if it's on anything else. I played it on Steam.
Okay.
But I do know it's got controller compatibility, so it might
Nice.
be on other systems.
I'll have to
So
look into
yeah.
it. Sounds like co-op
Yeah, it's
QWOP. Have you
fun.
ever played QWOP before?
No.
It's like a stupid flash game of like a guy who's like a track runner, and you're supposed to press
Hmm.
QWOP. That's why it's called QWOP. And like Q and W control like your upper leg and your lower leg on one leg, and then O and P control the other leg, upper half, lower half. So you're like controlling your
Oh
like
my god.
your thighs separately from your calves to try and run 100 meters in track. And
That sounds
it's unplayable.
awful.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
horrific.
that sounds awful. But yeah, so I played that. I've still been playing Cozy Grove because it's only about an hour a day. You just log in, like
Right.
do a few things. Which I like and then I don't like because sometimes I want to get further in the game and you just can't
It
because
actually
there's
hard
nothing
stops
else
you
to
from
do.
getting further.
Yeah. So like
Interesting.
you'll get to a point and then like you've done like a bunch of missions and then some missions take a really long time. Like this one mission I have to like make a tea egg or something, but there's nowhere else to get the eggs so far, but the guy only sells 1 egg per day and you need 10 eggs.
Oh,
And I'm
weird.
like, really? Yeah. So they actually were on Twitter and they said, like, the reason why we do that is because we know your time is important
Mhm.
and we respect your time. And I feel like that's nice. But if, you know, I want to spend more time on the game, then allow me to do that.
It's like in those
So
old
yeah,
Wii games when you like you're playing for like an hour and then the Wii will just send you a message being like, maybe you should take a break. Do you ever get
yeah,
those?
but then give me the choice.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. Give
And
you the
then I'd
choice
be
there
like,
at least.
no, I'm still playing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do like it. It's a cute game, but I don't like that aspect of it. Because sometimes I'm in the mood to grind.
Yeah.
So so that, and I've been I haven't played any Valheim in a while. We got to get back to that
I do.
at some point. Yeah.
Our house is just out there in
I
the
haven't played
forest
any
being
of that.
completely abandoned,
Yeah.
retaken by the wilderness.
So it's only fun when you play with other people, though. I tried going back and playing by myself, but like it gets like really boring.
Yeah.
So that's what I've been up to. Like, and trying to finish setting up this stuff back here. It's not all like set up yet. It's like slowly. Like there's so much. Like, hold
Yeah.
on, let me see if I can like just show you. Like,
Oh, I love your baby Yoda.
yeah.
Huge
So it's
paw.
like slowly getting like set up. Yeah. So
Progress
that's
is being made.
it.
It's looking good.
I know, right? I'm proud of myself. It only took like a month and a half. So what have you been up to?
Well, as I kind of alluded to, I've been grinding away at Final Fantasy. Has any progress been made on your part and towards getting into Final Fantasy?
Okay, so the thing is that like I tried to like sign up and I don't know. I'm gonna try again tonight. It gave me some weird like error and I didn't write it down because I was just frustrated.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, maybe it's because I tried to use so many different like email
Accounts.
addresses, so maybe it's connected to one of those. So I need to figure out what to do.
Yeah.
And then once I like clear that up, then I can play. And I do really want to play. I do.
If you're trying to get into the free trial, I know the free trial is only able to be started with like a clean brand new account, cannot have like any associations to previous characters. So if you're using an old account,
sounds like I'm gonna have to make a new email.
Yeah, because otherwise they'd be like, what are you talking about? Like, you played this game before. We're not giving it to you for free. Like, just give us our money again. Like, that's what happens.
Yeah, that's true. That's
But
true.
I will
I think I'll
say,
have to make a new account.
oh yeah, unfortunately, when you and Matt come, we're gonna have so much fun together. It's gonna be great.
I can't wait.
Um, my parents also wanted me to tell you that my mom started playing Lost Words. Not started playing, she finished it. She actually beat the game.
Oh,
On your recommendation.
how did? Oh, how did she feel about it?
So I have not played it yet, and I will play it. So no spoilers, but
No spoilers.
she said that she had to like grab tissues. She was crying so much at the end, like it hit her hard. Apparently, I'm like, if I gotta play
Yeah.
this game on like a completely rubberized floor, I should put plastic on all my furniture because like there will be some
Yeah.
waterworks when I play it, allegedly. But
No, I think it's going to hit you hard, actually. Just from some things I know about you, I think it will. No spoilers, but I think you will definitely get emotional. Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm excited and terrified to play it. Other than that,
it's really well done.
It definitely looks like something that I'd be into. I'm like, is there like a point where it goes from just being very heartfelt to emotional manipulation? Like it's like the first like 10 minutes of Up, where it's like you watch those 10 minutes and you just like cry instantly.
No, I feel okay. So like with Up, I feel like you never recover from that, right? Like the first 10 minutes of that movie, like you just never recover. This is like really slow. Like it takes you on this journey, and it's like it does start off happy, but then like something happens, and then like you slowly start to realize that like there's nothing you can do. It's just a part of life.
Oh boy, that's gonna be hard. It's gonna be a hard game to play.
It's a hard game, but I was crying so hard. Like my roommate came in to talk to me. Like she came in, I didn't even realize I was crying like that hard. That she came in and just like gave me this hug, and I just started sobbing. Yeah, they did an amazing job. But like you in the game, like you're sad, but you in the game like you've just gone through that with her, but you come out at the end like, I don't want to say cleansed, but like you're not angry at the game.
Yeah.
You're not upset.
It felt
like you come out accepting it. Yeah.
Okay. That's good to know. Other than that, I haven't really played much. I did swing on a swing today. I went outside and I went to a park near my house. I just kind of like went on a swing and just like swung.
That's nice.
It was really nice. I haven't done that
in so long. I bet you it was like freeing, right?
It
like
was.
Feeling like a kid again. Yeah.
It was really warm around here too. It was like 18 Celsius. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit. But I just had like this, what I'm wearing right now. I just had like a shirt on, walked outside, had the breeze, listened to music. It was beautiful. I had a good day.
It sounds like a good moment.
Yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, that's it for me. Oh, one other thing I forgot about. I'm watching like a million movies. Like every day I'm watching a different A24 movie. Have you heard of the film company A24?
What's A24 mean? No.
It's a film production company, and they are focused on kind of like a certain kind of independent film. Their most famous films that A24 has done are probably like Hereditary, Moonlight, the Lighthouse. They did Uncut Gems, which was really big recently. So they do like a lot of like more independent films. I really like their films, and so I made it. My brother likes to do this thing every October where he watches a new horror film every day in October. I'm like, April's my birthday, so I'm gonna do something in April. I'm gonna call it like A two. I called it 24A24A, which stands for 24A24 April. So I watch a lot of movies basically. Um,
No, that's good though.
I'll
I've
tell
just
you.
been watching Invincible.
Oh, how are you liking that?
I like it. Like, I watch it with my friend Paul every Friday, and then we have a discussion about what we saw. So
A
it's good.
debrief.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, it's good. And it really makes me want to read the comic because I
Yeah.
heard there are people complaining that it's not like the show. So I'm curious to see the differences, but I don't want to
Oh,
spoil
interesting.
things.
Yeah.
So,
I've
so I
seen the
think I'm
first
going to
two
wait a
episodes.
little bit.
I've seen the first two episodes.
What did you think of the first episode at the very end? Like, were you prepared for that?
Yeah, I won't say, because in case anyone's listening who hasn't seen Invincible, it does
Yeah.
work
No
better.
spoilers. I just want to know how you felt.
I will say I wasn't really shocked or surprised, to be honest, because I kind of figured that.
Okay.
I saw a trailer, and one of the trailers made it seem like it was going to kind of be something along those lines. Like,
Okay.
I didn't know exactly what was going to happen or who was going to do what, like that I didn't know, but the change in the story, I kind of knew it was going to happen.
Okay. See, I hadn't seen any trailers or anything. I was just told to watch it. So I was like, I was really shocked at the end, but I loved it because I was like, yo, this is like
Yeah. I will go back to
it.
Once I'm done watching my never-ending list of movies, some of which I actually don't really like. Most of them I do like, though. My top two that I've seen so far would have to be Minari. Have you heard about Minari? It's nominated for an Oscar this year, actually. Did you ever see The Walking Dead?
Oh. You know I didn't. I don't like zombies.
I completely forgot you don't like zombies. So of course you did not see The Walking Dead. Well, Steven Yeun played Glenn in The Walking Dead. He's the main character, Minari. It's about a Korean family that moves to... They were living in California, and then they moved to... Oh my God. I think it's North Carolina. It's some kind of like half Midwest, half country, Southern style state, country, like in the middle of nowhere. To try and like start a family. And it was like a beautiful film. Just like their films are really good at like getting to the sense of humanity in like in a family unit or family drama. And also it was kind of nice to like kind of reminisce about what it was like being in Korea, like watching the food they were eating and stuff like that.
He's the voice of Invincible, by the way.
Oh my God, yeah, he is. Yeah, he's the voice of Invincible. I forgot about that. I should have led with that, the show we just talked about watching. And then the other film I watched that I really, really liked was called The Last Black Man in San Francisco, which is about a guy. It's actually an autobiographical film. Like the film is a fiction, but the actor who plays the main character is actually playing himself in like a fictionalized version of his own life. Yeah. And it's about basically the gentrification of San Francisco, and like his family used to live in this house that is this like really ancient looking San Francisco house that he says his grandfather built. And then because they couldn't pay debts and things like that, they were kicked out of the house. So the movie's about him trying to kind of reclaim his life by getting that house back. It was really interesting, really well done. That sounds
really good.
You should watch it. It's really,
Maybe
really
I'll
good.
Check that out.
Danny Glover's in it, and Jonathan Majors, who I really, really like.
Okay. Yeah, I'll check it out. Have you heard of, really quickly, the new kind of horror film or series called Them? That's like streaming on Amazon right now. Okay.
What is
I'm not going to talk about it because I'm not watching it, because it will trigger me, because it's dealing with like this family that moves from the South up to like North Carolina. This is what made me think about it, because you said North Carolina. And they move into like, I'm sorry, I'm lying. They move from North Carolina, I think, or South Carolina to Compton. And Compton, California, it used to be all white. So this is when they started to allow Black people to move into these like all white neighborhoods. Mm-hmm. And it's basically dealing with like the racism that they're facing, and also like the post-traumatic stress syndrome of being in an area where and living through an era that was basically, you know, the Jim Crow era.
Yeah.
And so like there are a lot of like horror things happening that like kind of make you think like, okay, this is just in these people's minds, but like they're being triggered to have these reactions because of the things that the people in the neighborhood are doing to them. So they
Right.
basically don't want Black people in their neighborhood.
Yeah.
It's really interesting, and I've read about it, but I just don't like the horror aspects of it.
Yeah.
So I won't be watching it.
I'll have to check
But like
that out.
I've been reading. Yeah, I think you'd like it because you like horror movies.
Yeah.
So.
I'm really liking this this kind of like trend of these like socially conscious horror films. Because like horror as a genre really kind of started as like a social critique. Like the original Night of the Living Dead was a social critique of like the communist witch hunt in America. And so like we kind of moved away with that with like slasher films, and we're thanks to I want to credit Jordan Peele as kind of bringing that popularity back, I think, of the socially conscious.
Yeah, with Get Out
film.
and
Yeah.
then
And
Us. Yeah.
Yeah, really good. And then Lovecraft Country recently was doing it to, unfortunately, in my opinion, a less successful degree. The first episode of Lovecraft Country was fantastic, but
everybody told me that.
Yeah.
My friend said that too. He said the first episode was amazing, and then the second and third were okay, and then it kind of fell off. And then like there's an episode like 7 or something where some woman steps into a different reality, and he said that one was really good.
That was good. Yeah, that was good.
But then and then the rest, like everybody says the same thing, so I was like, okay.
Yeah. If you want to watch something really good, watch the first episode of Lovecraft Country and then pretend that that's it.
Okay.
So, anyways, talking about horror and people doing terrible things, our main topic for today is related to Twitch chat and the toxicity of Twitch chat. And Destiny, this was a topic that you brought up. So could you kind of elaborate a little bit more on what you wanted to talk about?
Right. So I've been having some conversations with a couple of friends, and they brought up an incident that happened in GTA. I don't play GTA, but I was introduced to the fact that they actually do role play in GTA now, which I guess makes sense, you know.
Yeah.
And and I'm not going to say her name or anything because I don't think that's important, but because she's already getting a lot of like slack. So I don't think, but if you guys want to look up the information based off the details we give you, you can do that. But there was a streamer, and evidently she broke some of the rules within like the GTA RPing community. So they were basically doing a bank robbery. And in the bank robbery, well, within GTA, it's known that like if you're already doing an action, you can't stop that action. It needs to play out fully. So he was robbing a bank, and I guess, you're stuck in the animation. So he was trying to rob a bank single-handedly. So like a lot of people are watching because I guess it's never been pulled off before in the RP community. And at some point, she comes around the corner, and he did explain the fact that like he included that her flashlight should be on so he could see movement, and like the idea was that if he saw movement, he would shoot the hostage. So at some point he sees movement, and he's like yelling, I see movement, but she comes in and she like shoots him anyway. And a lot of people were saying, well, that's not realistic. And I just thought that was weird because it's a game.
Yeah.
But then I was having this discussion with a friend, and I was like, well, you know, in like a real world sense, he wouldn't be like, but it's because of the limitations of the game. Like his back wouldn't be facing. And the fact that his back is facing, like, how could he have seen movement? Also, in a real life sense, she wouldn't have a flashlight on, you know, he wouldn't be able to see that. And then his argument was, well, like he could hear him, or he would have been able to hear the cops. But I was like, they're trained. Like the people who are going in are very trained to make like no noise, as little as possible. So I just said there were so many possibilities that could have happened, but me not being like very aware of how the role play community works. I know my opinion, and so I'm just going to say that now. I know my opinion is slightly not biased, but I just don't really have enough information about how things go in that world to give like a, I don't know, to put my say in it. But I was just saying, as a real world situation, anything could happen. Like, you know, cops don't always follow the rules.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, exactly. But people were very upset. And she actually got banned from the server because like the moderators agreed that she broke the rules. She shouldn't have done that. Right. And that's fine. The mods took care of it. And even the guy who was doing the streams, like, I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to let the mods take care of it. But the thing is that like he is known to have very toxic followers. And so his followers went out on a rant and like harassed this streamer to the point where she was like, I need to step away.
Yeah.
And I just think that's ridiculous. Like if you're following someone and even the person you're following is like, hey guys, like it's not a big deal. Let's just let the moderators handle it. Let the fucking moderators handle it. Like there's no sense in you going and attacking somebody over an event that's not even real. Like I can understand you getting upset and being like, oh, this person ruined the RP. But I mean, like, so what?
Yeah, I know.
It's not like life-threatening. Yeah.
I could make a really cheap joke about people taking role-playing that seriously. I'm going to try and be the better man and not make jokes about role-play, especially because I play Dungeons and Dragons. I play role-playing games and get really into it. But the response from the community is completely overblowing the like just like the what she actually did. She made a mistake in this. If she the community mods say she made a mistake in her role play, fine. But why is she getting death threats over this? Why is she getting harassed over this? What gives people the right? Okay, nothing gives people the right. I think a better question is, what makes people think that it's okay to harass these people?
Well, I think one of the things is that a lot of these people who are harassing her, I would just say a majority of them are not adults. Like there are a lot of kids who follow him because when I was talking to my friend, the kind of things he does are like the things that like kids find entertaining. Like, for example, a lot of PewDiePie's followers were like young. His audience is young, right? So they don't have the maturity to step away and be like, all right, we're just going to let this. Do you know what I'm saying? And then it's like also jumping on a bandwagon. They see like their friends doing it. So then they do it because they find it entertaining. And that's scary.
Yeah, it's so hard when, especially if you're a child. I mean, like your frontal lobe has not fully developed, like your rational thought has not fully developed when you're young. And I think when they're young, they're thinking like, oh, we're just joking, like whatever, it's just a joke, like you don't take us seriously. Like if you're making a death threat, like it's just a joke. Well, these children don't realize that they are not one in a vacuum. They are a voice of thousands of people that are all doing the exact same thing. And how can we as human beings parse out the jokes from, you know, being serious? It's just not possible.
It isn't possible. And especially when you're like being bombarded by these things, like even if you knew it was a bunch of kids, the idea of like continuously getting negative hate from people who don't even know you, who are like coming down on you for like a stupid mistake you may have done, like that's gonna like mentally affect you in a very negative way. So I'm not saying what she did was right or wrong. Like I saw videos of it, like my friend showed me or whatever. I'm just saying that I don't think it was that serious. For them to like, I don't know why I'm smiling because it's really it's a really shitty situation, but it's just kind of like ridiculous.
Well,
And
it's
go-
yeah, like it seems ridiculous to us. It does. Like it's like, oh, come on, people are getting mad over freaking Grand Theft Auto role playing. There's better things to get mad about. There's a
yeah,
lot wrong with the world that's more worth getting mad about than Grand Theft Auto role playing.
exactly.
I want to say I'm glad that you brought this topic up, because what was really interesting to me when you told me about this before, I did some research into Twitch's like harassment policies and what Twitch as a platform does to try and stop this harassment. Well, first of all, what was really interesting to me is that harassment at Twitch is so bad that they have an entire wiki on their website dedicated exclusively on how to manage harassment. Like it's so bad they have to put out a long document on how to manage it. Like it's up to the streamer to be able to deal with Twitch's harassment problem.
And I think that's shitty. I think like
Yeah.
Twitch needs to step up their game on a lot of different things, and harassment is one of them. I was following somebody. Okay, you remember the whole Pog controversy?
Yes.
Where Twitch decided that they were going to switch out the faces of the Pogs, like every
Champ.
I don't know, week or month or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
And one of the Pog champs was a black male streamer, and he got a crazy amount of harassment just for being black and being put on there. And I was like, I didn't understand that. I'm like, if Twitch is picking him, where do you get off thinking that you can go harass him for something that he was chosen for?
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
And like it was crazy. And seeing his statements, my heart went out to him. Like I felt so bad, because it's like he didn't do anything other than be black and be a partner with Twitch. He literally didn't do anything. Twitch, he was saying, yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna ask, that was recent, right? That was only a couple months ago that this happened.
Yeah, it was a couple of months ago, and I don't remember his name. I'm sorry, guys. I don't remember.
Well, this is the other thing that's interesting to me, and I was really disappointed to find this out, but I'm not surprised. There's an article I found on The Verge that talked about, because of all the issues that Twitch was facing and all the harassment that people have to deal with, they actually did try and change their policies. And in December of 2020, they actually released a statement talking about how they were going to crack down on harassment, and they were going to crack down on toxic behavior in Twitch chat. And so it included stuff like, banning the word simp or incel or virgin, or banning different kinds of language. And all of this was enacted on January 22nd. Well, here's two cases that we're talking about right now with PogChamp and with this GTA role-playing scenario, where it's after January 22nd. People are still getting harassed. Nothing's really changed except for the words they're allowed to use.
And that's not enough. It's really not enough. And the thing is people have bots that they can program to keep people out of their chats for using words that they're not okay with. So for Twitch to be like, oh, well, now we're going to do something similar. Like, no, that's already taken care of. What you need to do is step up and like ban people's IPs who have been consistent with this kind of behavior. And I feel like the people who are getting harassed, just like, from reading their things on Twitter, like they have no faith in Twitch actually coming and helping them. Like it's just something they have to deal with. And I actually, like just based on this, I actually decided like I don't think I would ever want to partner with Twitch. Like I don't see it as something that I would ever be interested in, knowing that like I don't see myself as a partner if you're not protecting me in this. Like that's not a partnership to me. It's you're making money off of me, and you're basically throwing me to the wolves. I'm not okay with that.
What do you think Twitch should do to try and fix it? Do you have any ideas about like what would, if Twitch was trying to court the absolutely phenomenal Destiny to be a partner, and they're like, Destiny, we want you to be on our platform so badly because we love your Valheim streams. Well, what would they have to do to change your mind?
I literally think they need to, well, one, I think they need to put in some kind of age verification program, because just saying that, like, I really do feel like a lot of these toxic people are underage and not really realizing what they're saying. And I think they need to be able to, if they're going to put in this thing where they're banning people over words or whatever, they need to just ban them from Twitch. But I don't think they're going to do that because they'll lose money. And but that would be a start. You know what I mean? Like if this person is a consistent or a continual or habitual person who goes to different people's streams and uses these words, they shouldn't be allowed to be on Twitch. Like, let's not just ban them from that one person's stream, because obviously this is their personality. Then they just shouldn't be there. And I think it's going to get to the point where Twitch is going to start losing affiliates and partners because they don't want to put up with the harassment. And as soon as another company is like, we're going to offer you similar deals as Twitch, and we're going to protect you as a partner, people are going to like try it out and start moving over. And that's going to be Twitch's fault for not standing up and basically valuing the money over their partners.
Yeah.
So I would need to see them value their partners before I would ever work for them.
I think that's really well said, because like I think that what you just talked about right there about Twitch losing money, I think is already starting to happen. I swear to God, I remember hearing some things about Twitch having issues with trying to bring sponsors and stuff like that to the platform because of the toxicity that they have. So they might lose some money in the short run by trying to, increase stricter requirements, but in the long run, it might actually be healthier for their platform because,
I think so.
They'll be more like advertiser friendly. But I think the issue also always comes down to gamers. Like I don't want to make a generalization. I do consider myself a gamer as a qualifier. But I think the culture of gamers is just, at least to me, feels more toxic than like other fandoms.
I agree. I had this conversation with someone else, and he was basically saying, like, because people have talked about this before on podcasts and like on their channels and their streams. And this is not me man bashing or anything like that, so I don't want anybody to take it that way. But a majority of the gamers who are coming across as toxic are male gamers. And it's not just against females, as I was explaining to him. It's not just misogyny. I mean, it's like hate crime, like not hate crimes, but it's like racism. It's like bigotry. It's all kinds of things. And it's coming from, a majority is coming from male gamers. And it's because they're allowed to be this way. And they're not only that way to like streamers, they're that way to devs. You know what I mean? They're that way to like developers. And it's like I don't know what it is, but there's like this audacity that they have that they just think that they can be that way. And that's because there's no repercussions for being that way.
I am so interested in more. I need to do some research to see if there's some psychological studies that analyze this. I'm really interested to get to the bottom of this, because I don't think it's man bashing, because I completely agree with you. And I think it's true. Like there was an article that, that I was reading about swatting, because Twitch is not just like, the toxicity on Twitch is not just people sending death threats. It's people physically calling in bomb threats to people's houses that they don't like on Twitch. They'll find a Twitch streamer's personal information and they'll call the SWAT team to their house. And people have actually died because of this. And the guy who, one of the people that was arrested was a man. And I think that in pretty much every single case that a swatting case has happened, the perpetrator, when discovered, is always male. And so you never hear, I mean, I don't want to say that women can't be part of a toxic community, because obviously they can, but the
Anybody
majority
could be, right?
Exactly, the majority of these people that are going into Twitch chats or Twitter or YouTube comments or any piece of social media and leaving hate, the majority are men. And I really, I actually don't know why that is. It has to be because of some kind of systemic, issue that's bred men to be a certain way. It's just so confusing to me.
Well, when I was talking to my friend about it, he said it's just because he thinks it's because like most men by nature are competitive, and that competitiveness, competitive, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It can lead to anger.
Yeah.
And then that anger comes out in a very toxic manner. So like when people like rage quit on games and stuff, and then they start breaking shit, and I'm just like, why would you break your own stuff? But it's like this, like, I don't know. I mean, maybe that's just like my, like, the way I think about it as a woman gamer. I wouldn't break my own stuff, but like people get really mad, and I think that's part of it, is like that competitiveness. And I won't say that females aren't competitive, because we are, you know, to a certain extent, but I think in a very different way. And it's just not as, there are not as many females who are their competitiveness leads to like anger, to where it's like you want to like hurt someone in the gaming community.
It always
so
comes
I think
back
that's
to this, like,
a lot of what it is.
Yeah, it always comes back to this like toxic masculinity idea, where, I mean, people write entire philosophy, like feminist, socio-economic papers about the topic of power structures. Unfortunately, that's a topic that's probably like entirely beyond the scope of this podcast to discuss.
Yes.
As much as I love talking about it. So I guess I'll ask, like, to kind of try and bring this together. I'll finish it off with a question of, what do you think is the biggest, like, where do you see this going? Like, where do you see this ending or progressing? Like, do you think things are going to get worse, or things are going to get like better with this toxic Twitch chat problem? And do you think it's ever going to go away?
I don't think it's ever going to go away. Just like I don't think a lot of things are going to go away. You can't just change the entire world. And the gamer community is very big, so there'll always be people who believe that they have a right to say and do what they want to do, right? But do I think it can get better? I do. I also believe that it's going to have to get a lot worse before it can start getting better.
Well said, Destiny. Fantastic. And a huge shout out to all of the people on Twitch, all the streamers on Twitch, and all the people on Twitter, and all the people on YouTube that have suffered harassment and continued with doing what they love despite of the harassment. Like, that, I don't like, that's true bravery. That actually is, like,
yeah, it is. So kudos to you guys. That's amazing. I couldn't do it. I would get pissed.
No, same. I mean, that's why I don't go on social media. I just don't even want to deal with it. But yeah, so like, shout out to everyone. Keep doing what you're doing, and hopefully, as Destiny said, things can get better eventually. So that brings us to the news. So, Destiny, our first story comes from, let me just change my tabs. Comes from the PlayStation blog themselves. We recently just talked about on the podcast, Matt and I had our conversation about PlayStation Now and the PS3 and PS Vita stores shutting down. I did a "Hey, did you hear" video on it. Well, guess what? According to the PlayStation blog, players will be able to continue to purchase games on PS3 and PS Vita for the foreseeable future. They have not given a new end date.
I think that's amazing.
Yeah,
I think that's amazing because I know, like, when we were talking about it, I was mad, and we were talking about conserving art and how game is like a work of art and that people should have access to it. And I agree. I'm really happy that they're not closing down because I want to be able to play all kinds of, I want the option to play games if they're there. So yeah, I think that's good.
Yeah, I think that's fantastic too. Exactly. Like one of the things that I didn't really get to talk about too much that I mentioned to Matt on the last episode was, the Vita store, how a lot of these games have not even been like downloaded to the internet. It's the only way to play them because Vita emulation is not something that's really big. So like, this is awesome. They say that they couldn't do it before because they said it wasn't like monetarily, like they didn't want to do it for money reasons, but they found a solution.
They weren't going to make money from it.
Yeah, exactly. And I think they're like, we found a solution that works now. Probably just corporate speak for enough people complained that we regret making that decision.
Yeah.
But really happy about that. And also another thing this affects is updates too, because a lot of these games, if you have no store working, you can't really get updates for your games. So servers can still run and games can get their updates. Games with endings and DLC, guess what? You can download that DLC.
Nice.
Beautiful. Just beautiful.
I'm pretty happy about that.
Are you gonna celebrate by going back and playing some more PS3 games?
I think so, because I have a PS3 and people are like, you still have it? It still works. Why would I get rid of it?
That's true. I will never get rid of that thing. I like nothing else can play PS3 games. There's no PS3 emulator. Like I can't do that.
Right?
Or there is, but it's
such a well-built, it was such a well-built system. Do you know what I mean? Like it's sturdy. So well built. Really break. Yeah. So no, I'm not getting rid of it.
Good. Oh, also PS3s play PS1 games. That's another reason why I'm keeping my PS3 around.
Yeah.
It plays PS1.
I like it.
Our our next story is we'll go to CD Projekt. CD Projekt, according to GameSutra.com, has mentioned that CD Projekt will not say their full sales numbers or their sales revenue until April 22nd, but they did release preliminary results that indicated that 2020 is the best sales year for CD Projekt on record. In fact, a lot of their sales have, I hear the word double. Yeah, the revenue this year, 2020, was double what they were making when The Witcher 3 was popular. Despite the Cyberpunk.
So what I wanted to say about that is I wonder if it got better because The Witcher came out on Netflix and then people wanted to go back and play that game and purchase that game, because Cyber 2077 didn't really come out till like towards the end and it had so many issues, and I definitely do not think that's the reason why they did so well. I really feel like Netflix picking up The Witcher and making it a series made people who hadn't played the game like go and pick up The Witcher 3 because it's a fucking amazing game, and right now it's like not super buggy. So I really do wonder if that's the reason why they did so well, because the series did amazingly well. So.
Well, Netflix did actually increase the sales of The Witcher 3. The Witcher 3 did sell better after the show came out. But I will say about Cyberpunk 2077, they made a profit off of that game with pre-orders alone. And I think that's the biggest issue.
Oh, yeah.
All of these sales are from people that bought the game before it was reviewed and before it came out. So,
well, it's weird that they're trying to brag about it because, like, after it came out, people were pissed.
yeah. So this is why CD Projekt have said that like they have no intention of stopping support and stopping updates for Cyberpunk, because the problem is now is they will probably have issues in the future if they don't fix the problems now. No one's going to trust them as a company. Like, will you trust them after this?
I mean, okay, the thing is that, like, I don't think it's the devs' fault, and I would like to support the devs no matter what, because I really liked Witcher 3.
Yeah.
So maybe in a couple of years, I'll buy Cyberpunk 2077, but, like, I'm obviously not going to buy it now. But I will say that I'm open to trying the game later down the road.
That's a good point. Yeah, I want to echo that as well. It's already been stated, like on record from devs who worked at CD Projekt Red, that like they were overworked. Like they knew what the game was going to be when it was releasing. It was like upper management deadlines that caused most of the issues for the game. And I'm sure they are unfortunately probably still crunching as we speak to fix a lot of those issues.
Oh yeah.
They're being punished for decisions that upper management made.
Well, hopefully upper management gave them a raise since it's like record-breaking fucking sales, but who knows?
Who knows? Our next story comes from GameIndustry.biz. There was a lawsuit sent to Microsoft last year about Xbox One controller drift. It was a law firm by the name of CSK and D. They didn't just send out a lawsuit to Microsoft. They sent out a lawsuit to Sony and Nintendo as well for what they say was, false advertising for customers, basically. Customers being ripped off because the controllers that they're making just aren't up to build quality. Destiny, what do you think about that?
I think that's absolutely fair. You have people who pro game, and if any of the hardware is faulty, like you're going to have a problem with it. And enough people complained about it that it was obviously an issue, and they weren't working fast enough to fix the issue. So that's what happens.
Have you had any issues with joystick drift on your Switch controllers, or do you have any like Xbox controllers for your PC that you've had any issues with?
I have like a Rock Candy Xbox controller for my PC that I've had forever, but I don't really play games where drift would affect me in that sort of way. So therefore, like, I didn't really notice it. So I feel like the people who have noticed it are people who play games a lot, and it's definitely like affected their gameplay. So
yeah, I'm really confused because like, okay, I have a PS4 controller that I've only had for 2 years now, and it's already drifting to the point where I can't even use the controller anymore. I've had 2 other controllers for my parents' console that I had for a couple years, and then they started drifting to the point they couldn't be used anymore. That's 3 controllers.
That's really bad.
Matt has like spilled beer and soda and food and like taken. I'm sorry, Matt, your controllers are a little dirty sometimes. And yet sometimes he's never had a single bit of controller drift ever. And I don't know why that is, but I think it's because I need to have a better opinion of Sony. Maybe if I start praising Sony on this podcast, my controllers will start working better.
Okay, well, so I have a question. So Matt usually plays by himself. Like sometimes Cinna plays, but yours sound like a lot more people probably use your controllers in your household. So I wonder if that has something to do with it. And even so, like they should explain or should have like some listing saying like, this is good for so many hours of use, good up to like 80, like 800 hour, which is not a lot, but you know what I mean?
This is the problem. You actually nailed the problem on the head, because the manufacturers that make the joysticks is the same manufacturer for Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo. And it's this one, like whatever they use for measuring the stick movement. it actually in the manufacturing components, like in specs, it says how many uses it's available, like it works up to. And I can't remember the exact number. I don't want to speculate, but I remember it being like low enough that like, yeah, you're going to start finding drift issues really quickly. It's only good for like so many 10,000 rotations or something, which based on how much you're rotating sticks in a video game is a long time. So I really hope that these companies, Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo, start using different parts, because Microsoft's used the same parts for 3 console generations so far, and Nintendo
it's
and
time
Sony
to upgrade.
Yeah, it's fix
and
your
it
stuff.
doesn't make sense that they wouldn't like upgrade that as they were upgrading everything else. Like, that's weird.
Yeah, I agree. Before we go on to our last bit of news, which is indie games, we'll finish off the podcast with indie games because I like doing that.
Nice.
A little bit on the way is Uniqlo has announced that they are going to be making an exclusive Animal Crossing New Horizons clothing line starting June 6th. So, June 7th.
That's exciting.
Sorry. Yeah, for available online and in store. Destiny, how do you feel about that? Are you going to buy some t-shirts?
I'm going to buy some t-shirts and hopefully hoodies, because you guys know I love hoodies.
I'm actually going to pop a link right here in the chat so you can see what they look like.
Thank you. I also wanted to add on that, like, I know this is probably not for everybody, but Build-A-Bear also is like having exclusive Build-A-Bear Animal Crossing characters. And they just released Isabelle and that Crook Tom. And it's sold out. Tom. Yeah. It sold out in like an hour. Like, I was waiting in line online because you could only purchase it online, and they sold out in an hour.
Oh my God.
So I love that everybody's jumping on the bandwagon for this. And for the ladies who might be listening, there's actually like some makeup that's Animal Crossing like themed as well. Like, everybody's like Animal Crossing is taking over. Okay.
Yeah. I've tried to put this in the chat. Apparently, Zencaster has a really poor copy paste function. So we'll see if that link ends up working for you. If not, that's okay. I'm very tempted to buy some of these t-shirts. And the best part about this, actually, that I forgot to mention is if you don't know what t-shirt you want to try, you can have your Animal Crossing character model them for you, because as of April 29th, they're going to be opening Uniqlo Island that you can visit, and you can get some of these t-shirts in game, so you can have the same t-shirt for your character as you do for your real life human body.
I think that's so cool. Like, I'm looking at some of them right now, and I'm like excited. I'm excited to get them.
Yeah, I really like the one
that does like really cute stuff.
The one with the whale on it, I like. Or just the doll one.
I saw that one. I like that one. I like the black and white one. And they also have stuff for babies, guys. So if you like want to get, and they have some accessories. Jeez, they have all kinds of stuff in here. Yeah.
It's all going to be sold out from scalpers immediately.
Yeah. Terrible.
But hey, I forgot to ask, have you been using your San
I knew you were going to ask. Sanrio, I knew you were going to ask. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to pull out the cards and like show him. And I don't know what I did with them.
Damn it. That's okay. I really wanted to see those cards.
I'll do it next time.
Yeah,
I know. But I think I know where it is. Hold on. No, I lied. Wait, I think. Nope, I lied. I thought they were that good. I will next time. Do it next time.
Next time. All right. Next time it is. Great. All right, Destiny, for our last news topic. This past what was it? It was on
weekend,
like Wednesday or something. I can't remember the actual day. Anyways, Nintendo did an indie world showcase where they showed off like 20 new indie games coming to the Switch or something like that.
Yeah.
And I want to know if any of the... Oh, also, they're doing an indie game sale on Switch that lasts until April 25th with a lot of games on sale. And Destiny, I know how
Mm,
much you love indie games. Have any of these games
I
caught your eye?
do. Okay, so Last Stop. And that one looks so good. Basically, you're playing three different characters as they're dealing with like this kind of supernatural event that happens in like present day. I am so stoked about playing that game. Like the graphics for it look really, really nice. Just as an indie game. I think I bought this game, but it's called The Longing. And it's basically like this little guy who's
Yes.
waiting. Yeah, like we talked about it briefly before. So I want to play that one. And you know, I'm going to get Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge
Yes.
because I love the Ninja Turtles. So those are the three that I'm looking forward to getting.
Did you take a look at Hindsight? Hindsight is
No, what's
kind of
hindsight?
it's an so there's the two things that I want to shout out are Hindsight, which we don't know a lot about yet, or at least I don't know a lot about. Really interesting art style. It's kind of like you're looking back on your own life, and you're
Mm.
seeing images of your life through other images. So like the rain will reveal scenes from a different part of your life or something like that.
Ooh.
Really, really unique art style. I will pop that in the chat as well. And
Yeah, I want to look at that.
another game called Route 96. Yeah, Road 96, which is a choose
Ooh.
your own adventure road trip where you're a hitchhiker and you have to basically deal with the dangers that somebody who's really hitchhiking across the United States might have to deal
That's
with.
scary.
Yeah. You'll actually like you're in one example that I saw in the trailer was like you're in a car and there's a guy talking to you and it's like showing his anger level at the top. So you have to like steer the conversation in ways that's not going to make him angry or like or because he gets like really like mistrusting of you and stuff like that. Really
Like,
unique
does
idea.
he kill you?
Maybe. I don't know.
Oh my god. That sounds like anxiety. Like, I don't know if I could play that game.
Yeah, you have to survive the dangers of hitchhiking with strangers. Um,
Man,
and I
hitchhiking is dangerous.
it is. Don't ever do it.
Just straight up.
Don't go
Just
hitchhiking.
don't do it. Yeah. People are crazy.
They really like I feel like romanticize hitchhiking in films a lot. And in real life, it's probably
They
one of the most
do.
dangerous, terrifying things you could actually do.
It is. Like they try to do it like I know when I was younger I wanted to like backpack through Europe, which is basically hitchhiking with people you don't even know who you can't even like speak the same language with half the time.
Yeah.
Nah.
No, don't
I'm
do
good.
it. And I also really wanted to double up on The Longing. I hope you start it. For anybody who doesn't know, The Longing is a game that takes 400 real life days to beat. And the game runs while you're not playing it. You don't have to have 400 in-game hours played, but 400 real life days. And it's a game about like what you do with your time while you're waiting. So you don't have to play it. You can just turn it on and leave it for 400 days. But
That's crazy.
yeah, there's
I
stuff
want
to
to play
do in
it though.
Yeah, so I hope you do play it, and I want to know what you think. I'll probably wait till it goes on sale for me. But really, really unique idea. Really, really cool idea.
Yeah, it is.
Any other thoughts on any of the other indie games?
I kind of wanted to see Beast of Maravilla Island, but I'm not really sure what that one's about. It's there. It doesn't come out until June though. So
Yeah, had a really unique art style as well with that one. I just really
yeah,
like the
you
idea.
know all about that art style.
It looks very. It's like a photography based adventure game, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. So I want to see that one. I think Matt would like that because it seems like you're taking pictures of animals, and that's like right up his alley. Catching animals, taking pictures of them.
I think Pokemon Snap comes out soon too, so Matt's going to be all over that.
Oh, he's gonna love that. I remember when he was talking about it, and I was like, "So what do you do?" And he's like, "Take pictures of Pokemon," and I was like,
"Great,
okay." But Chris Tells, I also want to check that one out. Yeah, I'm not gonna play that game, but Chris Tells kind of reminds me of yeah, it's not coming out until 7/20/21, but it
Mhm.
gives me like the feeling of Final Fantasy, so I kind of want
Yeah.
to check it out. Yeah. Like there was one called Crystal Bearers that you could play with, like from the Final Fantasy franchise, that you could play on your like Game Boy Advance.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember that.
I do remember that one, actually. I never got it. Alistair had that one, but I never played it.
Yeah, I liked it. And so like this gives me that feel. So I kind of want to check it out. So those are the only games that my top 3, and then the other 2 I'm slightly interested in.
I'm guessing your Switch is probably like mine, where it's kind of just become like a vessel for indie games. How do you feel about that? Do you wish that you had more like big Nintendo games to play on it, or are you happy with it just being an indie game device?
I'm happy with it just being an indie game, because I think in general I just really like indie games. I feel like they're quirky and they're different. I do like some like major games, but I find that I'll usually watch somebody else play them. And I don't know why that is. I also think I just don't like paying the prices for that game when I can buy like a few indie games and feel like I get a similar experience.
Yeah, it's true.
Of just being entertained and having fun. So I'm actually, because I want to try these games, I'm actually going to open my other Switch, because I don't have enough room on my original Switch, which I decided to not get rid of. Because like my friend was like, oh, like you can just buy a memory card. And I was like, or I can just open the second Switch.
I can just open my second Switch.
So I'm going to do that and download some of these games.
Well, I think that's the perfect way to end this podcast, because I do not want to hold you away from your precious second Switch so you can start downloading some of these indie games. Destiny, thank you so much for joining me. Everyone listening, thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed this quirky Darren side quest host situation.
I think you did an amazing job. Okay, I'm just gonna say that, like, you did really well.
Thank you.
So like Matt left it in good hands, because I would have been like all over the place. So I'm really proud of you, Darren. You did good.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And again, one more time, thank you everyone listening so much. Before we go, Destiny, I'm going to ask you, is there anything else that you'd like to say before we truly close this off?
I wanted to say something about something I read recently, but I didn't do a lot of research on it. It's something about Sega shutting down their Western arcade division.
Oh my.
It's huge. I probably should have said it during news, but I didn't say it because I didn't do enough research, but evidently they already shut down their Eastern division. Maybe we could talk about that on next week's podcast.
Please, I'd love to talk about that.
But yeah, I read about it. Yeah. So I was like, what does that mean? Like, that scares me a little bit, because Sega has a lot of nostalgia for me.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Prelude to next week.
We're going to talk about this next week. I'm going to try and pledge this. Destiny, find an article or something.
I will.
That makes me so sad too, if that's true.
Yeah.
So I, as always, I feel like my brain is empty. My mind is blank, and I have nothing else to say. So, everyone, shout out to our YouTube channel one more time. We just had our, you mentioned Cozy Grove. We've got a review of Cozy Grove up on our YouTube channel. Go check it out. It's youtube.com/burnoutbrighter. We got that fancy new simple clean link. You can find us on Anchor and Facebook and Instagram and Apple and Spotify. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow and share, and just like tell your friends and your family. And now I feel like I'm getting self-conscious about this begging, and it's starting to get depressing.
No, it's not begging. We want you to like follow us. We want you to share, and we also want you to engage with us. If there's anything you want to say, if there's anything you'd like us to talk about, please tell us, because we would love to pick on topics that you guys really want to hear. We want to know what you want to hear, so it's important.
Thank you so much, Destiny. I don't know what I would do without you. All right. Everyone, thanks so much for listening. See you later.
Bye, bye, bye.
Peace out. Things are working. I tried it before, it was working. This is gonna be
I see it recording at the top.
Hey, okay. Just give me a moment to compose myself.
Okay.
All right.
You ready?
Ready. Do.
Sorry, I'm looking down.
I'm
I'm trying to like type in this stuff.